And now, here is your Shindig host, Jimmy O'Neill.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Well, tonight's the night. Stand by for four boys who are riding on the crest of two colossal hits. You Really Got Me, and All Day and All of the Night. Now, check this. They wear Victorian morning coats, hunting neckties, and shoulder-length long hair. No wonder they're known as the Kinks.
I distinctly remember the Kinks on Shindig and seeing Davies playing this Flying V and just going, oh my gosh, I want to do that. I want that guitar. It just was such an impactful moment. The Flying V has always been one of the unicorn guitars in all the years I've run this shop, and it was many years before we even saw one come in the shop. Well, this guitar is ingrained in my childhood and all the bands I played in when I was a kid. I remember the Greatest Hits Kinks album in our bedroom when we were learning all these songs. Till the End of the Day, You Really Got Me, All Day and All the Night. Great songs, like 3-chord wonders, man, that were just so easy to play and so fun. This guitar, I think to a lot of kids like me, was just the embodiment of rock and roll. It looked like a rocket ship taking off, and it just blew my mind. I was enamored by it. And just to be able to sit here all these years later playing this guitar is just a dream come true.
Driving home in the RV, with this guitar on board, man, we listened to like 10 hours of the Kinks. This is a guitar that, my dad and I talked about when I was like 6 or 7 years old. We've had the record cover, the Kinks' Greatest Hits, behind the counter since day one. I've seen this guitar every day, Monday through Friday, since the shop opened. It could have been a Harmony Rocket that Davies was holding. I still would have been so excited about that. But not only is it just a iconic rock and roll artifact, it's a 58 Flying V, which, under 100 made. How many are still out there that are legit? And then there's this one, the one that made it famous. It's so cool. I mean, he owned it from 65 to 92, so it wasn't like a quick flash in the pan. I mean, he loved this guitar, he did some work on it.
This thing was designed in 1957, released in 1958. If you think about what was going on in 1958, you'd turn on the TV and probably see Buddy Holly up on stage in his first communion suit, has a Strat high and tight, and just kind of rocking back and forth, and people lost their minds over that. It was scandalous at the time. So you can imagine walking into a music store and seeing this on the wall. You'd have to be an absolute maniac to consider buying something like this. And not that many people did. There were only 98 of these things shipped in 1958 and a few in 1959. So this particular guitar has had a little bit of work done over the years, which you'd expect for such a workhorse guitar like this. It has been refinished, purportedly by Dave Davies himself. He nailed the color. It's kind of dead on. I don't think the guitar was disassembled. As you can see, kind of around this V plate, there's some lines like a new finish was wiped on. But like I said, it looks right for a Carina. Fun fact, Carina actually isn't a real thing. This wood is called African Limba. Gibson, apparently in the late 50s, did not like this name and just made up the word Carina and marketed these guitars as such. So the other big thing with this guitar, it has had a neck heel repair, which of course is not ideal, but really not unusual on these Vs. Now, that might lead you to believe that the neck joint was a poor design, but that's not really the case. These tenons were extremely long. They actually came through the neck pickup cavity and ended under the pickguard. The reason so many of these Vs cracked at the heel is because the original cases actually were designed to break the necks, and I'll show you why. So the neck rest in these cases was actually situated much farther, towards the headstock, and the body had no real support under its mass other than at the very tips of the horns of the guitar. So this put the majority of the guitar's weight directly over that neck joint. So when the case inevitably, fell over or tipped over, there's nowhere else for it to break. But as I said, the neck has been doweled right there in the back. Again, it is not the worst nor the best repair I've ever seen, but it is completely solid. Other than that, the tuner tips have been replaced with modern replicas, mostly. I think there's one original on there. That was very par for the course for a lot of these late 50s guitars. Despite all that though, it's a relatively straight guitar considering the crazy kind of rock and roll lifestyle that this thing has lived.
What can you say about these guitars? Well, I have been fortunate enough to play a few of them. This one is really a remarkable example. I would have to say my favorite thing I just experienced was both pickups together. Just this beautiful glassy, I don't know, almost Strat-like tone. I could sit here all day and plug it in through a Fender with a bunch of reverb and just space out on it, but then you throw it to the bridge pickup and the thing just screams. But amazing necks, they got it right the first time. I've connected with this one, I think, the most out of all the ones that I've played. Just something special with playing this today. I feel very fortunate to be able to play these unique, amazing instruments, and this one in particular really wowed me. The fretboard, everything about it, the grain, it's just a remarkable guitar.